Right, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to a New Year's Day special of Crucible Chat. As usual, my name is Mike, and this is a special one where I'm going to rant about whatever the fuck I want with a good friend of mine. It is the one, the only man in the world who has a full-size Elsa costume so we can sing Let It Go in his basement. It is the Bipolar Bear.
Oh, what an intro is that?
Yes,
I had to make some modifications to that outfit, dude, because he only made it in children's sizes.
Well, that's what I said. You're the only one in the world who has an adult-size version. So, kind of the topic of today's Crucible Chat, this is kind of really halfway baked and unplanned. But me and Rob here, we're going to talk about the games that we've liked and the games that we've hated from the last year or so. So I think we'll start things off with the positivity, then we'll descend into ranting. So, Robbie, what was your favourite game this year?
Except for Destiny, it's got to be Child of Light.
Now, Child of Light, no, that's the turn-based thing on PSN, isn't it?
Yeah, it was so good because it was like a massive surprise. I never saw it being that good.
Right.
And when you picked it up for like £15, and it was just incredible. And I'm not even like a turn-based RPG fan or anything like that. But that game, it was amazing. It was, honestly. I'm not going to be too nice about things. It was the dog's bollocks.
Right.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, you see, I've seen it advertised all the time, and it was in loads of sales, and it's just one of those games that I've always seen on the store, but never thought, I fancy that. But maybe because I've never actually clicked on it and looked at it.
Yeah, it looks boring as shit. Honestly, you put it in, it's like, what the fuck is this?
Right.
But as soon as you get into it, it's like, how have I never played this before?
Wow.
It's one of them. Like I say, I'm not a turn-based RPG fan or into that animation or anything like that, but I thought, fuck it, I'll give it a go. Because let's face it was a Baron spell, there was nothing else to play. It's like, nothing could be any worse than Thief.
Well.
So I was like, I'll give it a bash, and I fucking loved it.
All right, cool. I'm going to have to try that out. I don't know, is it on sale at the minute? I know there's a massive PSN sale at the minute when it's up.
Yeah, when it's working.
I'll have to have a look at that one. You see, for me, it's if you've seen any of my channel this year, you'll know it's Dark Souls 2 has just been my favourite game of the year so far. Of the year in general. I was going to say there's only 3 days of the year left.
Yeah.
But no, I love Dark Souls 2. Just simply, I mean, you say you're not a turn-based RPG guy, but I am an RPG guy, and Dark Souls was my favourite game for such a long time, and then Dark Souls 2 came out, and it wasn't quite as good as Dark Souls, but considering Dark Souls at the time was better than everything else, for me anyway, it's a pretty good accolade to have.
Well, I mean, Dark Souls, for me, I played Dark Souls 2, and it was very short-lived. I kind of got to come to the end of my tether when half a dead skeleton beat me to death with a stick.
Yep. Oh, yeah, it'll do that.
Yeah, it does. It's a bit of a nasty bastard, that game is.
Oh, I see. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall watching you play Dark Souls. How many controllers got smashed?
It was a very short-lived experience, and I think the same will be with Lords of the Fallen as well.
Well, you see, Lords of the Fallen is supposed to be a little more forgiving than Dark Souls. And
fucking hell, I had a sword shoved so far up my arse the other day, it ended up coming out through my fucking mouth. Ain't all that forgiving.
Well, you see, it's £25 at the minute in the sale, so I'm going to pick that up and have a blast of it.
It did feel a lot like Dark Souls, to be fair, when I started picking it up and playing it.
Yeah. Apart from the fact that you have this set character and it shoves the story down your throat, which Dark Souls really doesn't.
Well, alright, the combat style's relatively similar.
Yeah. No, yeah. Well, you see, I was looking forward to it, and then because it came out in October, and there was obviously, I was still reeling off Destiny for that, and then there was Alien Isolation, which is a close second for my game of the year, because I fucking loved that game. I know you hated it.
I know. That game's a sore subject. So bad.
Oh, no, you see, I loved it. Apart from
but as is Evil Within, as well. That's another sore subject for me.
Well, Evil Within, I've actually gotten sick of playing that. I've sent it back to the rental company. Because, when I play it, I enjoy it, but I don't have that desire to play it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes perfect sense, because I know exactly what you mean.
It's I'd rather... I can think of other things to do rather than play the Evil Within. And
like setting your testicles on fire?
Pretty much, yeah. Or introducing a bandsaw to my tongue.
Oh, well, I know a man who'll sort you out with that.
Yes. Wow. But yeah, the Evil Within. I mean, the gameplay is good. The graphics are weird because I noticed when I was playing it that there is so much detail on the main character, and nothing in the rest of the world. Like, you see the cutscenes, and like the other characters in the cutscenes look like they're from a PS2 game.
I was going to say the graphics look like a fucking gory version of Minecraft.
Yeah, they're like really blocking all that, and every enemy is kind of the same, but it's not scary because there's so many fucking enemies. It's like it's not a survival horror game; it's a survival test.
Yeah, it's kind of like Saw, isn't it?
Yeah.
More than anything.
You've got this world where there's all these traps and all these things coming at you, and hey, let's make it scary by making some of the enemies go invisible, or let's make it scary by giving you 2 bullets to get through this whole section.
Yes.
Like, fuck off.
That's spot on.
Yeah, so I mean, I think I did well. I got to chapter 6. I'm about halfway through chapter 6, and when they reused the same chainsaw boss for the 3rd time, I thought, nah, fuck this. But yeah, so The Evil Within was a sore spot for me this year.
Yeah, it's especially with all the hype built around it as well, because that was meant to be the game, the horror game that we were all after. It's been a lot like that this year. It's been a lot of build up to be let down terribly, and I think for me, the games that have really done well and that have really lived up to the hype because there was very minimal built around it was games like Outlast.
Oh yes,
Outlast was exactly what I wanted for a survival horror game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, well, you see, Outlast was perfect because it was short and sweet.
Yeah.
It's like by the time you finished it, you weren't sick of it.
No.
And it kept throwing all the stuff at you. And then they had Whistleblower, which, I mean, I think it took me, for the full game and for the DLC, I think I only spent about 6 hours on the game, but I fucking loved every minute of it.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, for a game like that, because it does get stale quick, you're doing the same thing over and over again. And there's only so scared you can be of the same thing happens, like, oh, do a creep around that door, something's going to give me a big fat boo anyway.
Yeah. No, yeah, the Outlast was good, but I don't think Outlast really counts because it was only just the consoles that it came to this year. It was out like 2 years ago on the PC or something.
Well, yeah, it was, but I've only had access to it this year.
Yeah, it was same for me because when I got my PS4, I tell you
it was free on PS Plus.
Yeah, I tell you one game I did fucking love this year, which I didn't expect to like, but I got it when I got my PS4. Was Wolfenstein: The New Order. Did you play that one?
Yes, that game was good.
Yeah, it completely surprised me because I thought, it's just kind of be like a big dumb shooter, but it was cheap when I got my console, and you want as many games as possible when you buy a new console.
Yeah.
And I played through it, and it blew me face off. It was fantastic because it was exactly what I wanted. It was a big dumb shooter.
Yeah,
it had no political message. It was fucking batshit crazy. You got some ridiculous weapons. And you got to blow the shit out of enormous robots. I mean, what more could you want?
Yeah, exactly. When you got akimbo shotguns and you're shooting Nazis in the face, it's in 1080p and 60 frames a second.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I always thought the music to that was brilliant as well, especially when you had like German heavy metal going on in the background.
Yeah, it was Rammstein do some music for it or something.
It wouldn't surprise me. I think that's pretty much the only German heavy metal band that anybody knows about.
But yeah, it was a quality game because I think if you took take all the storyline out, the story was complete and utter bollocks.
Yeah.
And definitely take the 2 sex scenes out of it because they were just embarrassing.
Yes.
But the rest of it was fucking gold. And the fact that there was that Easter egg where you could go back and play classic Wolfenstein.
Yeah, that was awesome.
I adored that with the old MIDI music and everything, and I just grooved my way through that. Like, I love that.
Yeah, I mean, I picked that one up on day one when it came out, and it definitely didn't fail to disappoint. It was a really good game.
Oh yeah, I loved it. I loved that from start to finish, actually. And that was another one. What I've noticed as well, campaigns this year, there's been a few games where the campaigns have actually been a decent length. I mean, Wolfenstein was something like 16 to 20 hours. Destiny, okay, the campaign was a little bit shit, but the actual campaign mode itself did take us a good while to finish. Alien Isolation was like 24 hours it took me to finish. They've gone back to the days where, obviously, yeah, you've got your Call of Duties where you've got a 2.5 hour campaign with multiplayer attached on for the...
Well, yeah, you could finish a Call of Duty campaign whilst you're taking your daily dump. There's no two ways about it. But
it seems that that's twisted around. Like the single player experience, despite all these weird connected services and shit, the single player experience seems to be getting a bit more attention, shall I say?
Definitely did this year, especially in Call of Duty with having Kevin Spacey involved. It definitely kind of made it feel more AAA, and it looked great. Call of Duty campaign was spot on this year.
Well, I think isn't that potentially because the Call of Duty Ghost campaign was entirely forgettable?
The Call of Duty Ghost campaign, in my opinion, was so good. When I picked up my German Shepherd, I did call him Riley.
Oh, right. Okay, fair enough. You see, I only ever played the multiplayer on Ghosts and swiftly turned it off after about 20 minutes.
The armor major lasts 20 minutes. And I'm a Call of Duty player.
I know. Well, to be fair, you built a YouTube channel around it for the most part. For the start of
Yeah,
it.
and now I've kind of got to start rebuilding again because it's shit. All the games that I had for my channel this year has just... It's just gone to shit already, so I don't know. I'm going to have to rebuild. I'm going to start doing something else. I might actually have to learn how to edit things.
So hang on. So for your channel, you were going to Call of Duty Advanced Warfare. You were going to prestige up everything, was it, or diamond?
Yeah, get all the guns to diamond. That was the idea. Doing live comms and commentaries over it.
And then you had your Master Chief Collection.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that. My God, I was so excited to play that game. And that because I've never been very good at Halo. One thing I've always been at Halo is a damn trier.
Yeah,
I have been that. I'm just that little one who can, but he can't. He's shit. And I spent more time on my back in that game than Paris Hilton.
Impressive.
But I know. But regardless, I still enjoy playing it. Now, when I can play Halo, I do enjoy it when you can play it, when you're not waiting half an hour to an hour just to find a single game of TDM.
Yeah.
It's just on that. I just refuse to play it. I'm a very stubborn git.
You see, I was watching some. I forget who it was. I was just watching someone else play the Master Chief Collection remastered stuff. It was after you'd put a video with one of the Halo 1 maps in it.
Yeah.
And I remember back when I was a little kid, and the first Xbox was out, and we all had Halo 1, and we used to do the classic thing. I'd bring me telly and me Xbox to my mate's place. Would set it all up through a router, a switch rather, and would have like 8-player deathmatch on these maps, and it was tremendous. It was fucking brilliant. And then I'm watching this guy play it online, and he's going, "Oh, well, this map isn't very good for 8-player deathmatch." It's like, I used to love that map. What the fuck are you doing wrong with it? And it's ridiculous. But what I don't understand is the first game was remastered for the 360.
Yeah.
And still looks reasonable today. It's remastered 3 years ago, so it's never going to be amazing.
Yeah.
But it looks like they've done absolutely fuck all with the maps for the multiplayer.
Yeah, some of them have, some of them haven't. See, the thing with... The thing with the Master Chief Collection, it was meant to all be brought back. Everything was meant to bring back the way that you used to know how to play it, and the way you can play it now. So all of the Halo 2 maps got all redone, made next gen, because Halo 2 is the love child of the series, and that's fair enough.
Yeah.
But they wanted it to have, so you can have the classic Halo feel. So broken, so pretty much got that spot on. And then for people like me who only got into it around Halo 3 time, they're going to bring it in, so redo all the maps, and then you can have all the original maps. It'll mix, it'll bounce between the two. So say if you wanted to have a game of Team Slay It, when you can find a game, I'm still very bitter about this.
Of course. You
can either have Halo 1 maps, it'll choose randomly. You have a Halo 1 map, Halo 2 Remastered, Halo 2 Classic, Halo 3, Halo 4, whatever Halo you want. There's that much Halo coming out the arse when you can get a game. And that was the appeal of it, is to go back and play it like it used to be played and play it on a more updated version now.
Okay.
But they fucked it up.
Right.
Massively. I don't know how, and I don't know why, but they managed to make such a... It's still a month on. I was trying to play earlier today, and you just cannot find a game, and this game's a month old now. It's over a month old.
Do you ever get the impression that the guys over at Bungie are just sat watching the Destiny servers, just cackling to themselves while they drink a little bit of cognac?
I wouldn't blame them if they did.
Because obviously, Bungie... If it weren't for Bungie, Xbox Live would have died a death. It wouldn't have been a thing.
Yeah, exactly.
But because of Halo 2 and how well they put that together, again, I remember having the first Xbox, getting Halo 2, ringing Microsoft to give them my £40 for Xbox Live, back before redeemable cards.
Yes.
And then getting online, and this was about 3 days after Xbox Live came out. And actually, being straight on into matchmaking with me mates, and within about 18 seconds of turning the damn thing on, being in a match and having my arse suitably kicked, as is the standard whenever I play multiplayer shooter games.
Well, you got to learn.
Well, yeah, but it's so weird that this game that defined the whole service for the last however long it's been, 10, 15 years, has failed so miserably.
I just don't know how they've done it. I don't know how they've made something so cool and fucked it up so badly. Because that's the annoying thing, because the game's good, the aspects of it's good. I don't mind, I'll play Classic Halo, I'll play New Halo. I'll play any Halo that I can possibly play, because I love the game, I love the multiplayer. I'm not very good at it, but still,
Yeah.
I'll enjoy it. And you just can't. It's physically impossible to do. The only reason I have not said a massive fuck you to the series yet is because on 29th of this month, we get the 5 Guardians beta. It's not a beta, it's a demo.
Yeah.
The demo comes out, and hopefully I'm going to be able to play a bit of that, but again, judging by recent events, I can't see it happening too well.
I think Lizard Squad are going to take it down just because it's Halo 5 Guardians.
At least they'd have something to blame it on if Lizard took it down again.
Well, true. I don't know, have you noticed anything funny there? Halo 5 Guardians. Destiny, Guardians.
There's a bit of a trend set in here, isn't there?
I think there's a bit of a tit for tat going on here, if I'm honest.
To be fair, though, man, they've got to do something because Destiny's blowing everything away.
Well, it is. It is. I mean, I'd kind of fallen off Destiny. I mean, I know I did these weekly Crucible Chat videos, but I'd kind of fallen out of favour with Destiny because I'd finished the campaign and I really couldn't be arsed for starting the grind.
Yeah.
And then, because I was slowly levelling up doing my weekly videos, and then it was for the last week's Crucible Chat one, so the one that was up on the 21st. No, the 20th, rather. And I had such a good time playing that particular match because I fucking tore through the other team. I mean, the team I was in, we raped them. It was that good. And I just suddenly just got the desire to play it again. And like within 2 days, I'd jumped myself up 3 levels in the end game. And I'm like 1 level off being able to play through the raid. And it's all of a sudden, it's just weird. This game's just suddenly just jumped straight back into my life. And I think that's what's so good about Destiny.
It is. I mean, I completely understand that. When the game came out, the grind was real and I was really up for it. But then you were slowly looking, for me anyway, I was slowly looking into the future. I knew Halo was just around the corner. I knew Call of Duty was just around the corner. So I kind of had my sights set on that. And I did get a bit sick of Destiny. It's like doing the same thing over and over and over again. One thing Destiny's got in its favour, there is nothing better out than it. So everyone went away and tried everything else because everyone got a bit bored of it, everyone got a bit sick of it. But as soon as you realise there's nothing better out there, Destiny is the go-to game.
Yeah. I think that's a pretty good assessment of it, actually, because it wasn't that I got bored of it, it's just I knew how much of a grind was ahead and I really couldn't be arsed. There was other things to do for the channel. But then just coming back into it and actually for the first time going into the Strike playlists, and actually thinking, whoa, these are well, 1, missions are not done before, and 2, they're fucking intense.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Although I will say, and this is a message to anybody out there who plays Destiny, if you are in the Strike playlist with me and it's not the match you want to be in and you quit halfway through, I will find you and I will attach your testicles to a horse and I will slap that horse's arse and make it run through a field.
Liam Neeson, fucking watch your job, mate.
Yeah, because I can tell you what, doing the one of the strikes on Mars, the one where you have to fight the tank in the middle.
Oh yeah.
Fighting the tank on your own is not good. But obviously, if you quit if everyone else has quit the strike, but you're on your own, and then you quit the strike, you don't get any of the rewards. You don't get anything of the stuff at the end. So I fought through the rest. It took me an hour and a fucking half, but I fought through that strike to the end, and I did it. And I will find those 2 players who quit out on me.
I will find you and I will block you.
Oh yes, I will kill you. But I mean, I think that's what's been great about Destiny. I'm trying to think of what else has been out this year that I've either kind of loved or hated.
I mean, obviously Dragon Age Inquisition, not long from out. I got it for Christmas, and I just made a start on it. It's early days, but there's potential there.
Is the dialogue as bad as any of the Mass Effect games? Because that was the best part of them.
I never played Mass Effect, so I wouldn't know. It seems okay. I have no idea. Everything's Ore and Oregon and all these fancy names that I really don't understand.
Fair enough, then.
The way I saw it was, dragons, things that breathe fire, and instead it just takes you on these little paths, and you go somewhere fancy over here with somebody with a name with Perth in or something crazy like that. And it's like, oh my god, I just want to shoot dragons in the face. This should not be so hard to sort out. And then you have to arrange your squad to do battle. So you don't just control one person, you control a whole fucking little army.
Oh, right.
Yes, it's like you're the puppet master, which just isn't my cup of dissected child, so...
Well, of course.
maybe I did enjoy it. It took a bit of getting used to, but I did enjoy it. Time will tell, but I think Destiny's going to reign supreme over everything.
Well, to be honest, I mean, it can't be any worse than Dragon Age 2, which was atrocious.
Again, I never played it.
Well, it was just like, it made the whole... I mean, because Dragon Age Origins was like a classic medieval fantasy RPG. You know, everything was customizable, and you went off into this vast world and did everything that you possibly wanted to. And in the meantime, between that coming out and Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect got huge. It went ballistic. So they made the second Dragon Age very much like Mass Effect, but made it really linear. So that you kind of passed through areas and never really had any reason to come back to them. Give them the worst characters ever written, like ever. And it was just a whole heap of horseshit. But I mean, to be fair, I've kind of not really gone in for Dragon Age Inquisition because, and I know the two very separate games, but I really didn't like Skyrim. And I know that's a controversial thing. There's probably people going to be throwing pitchforks at the screens here, but I really hated.
If they've got pitchforks, they've got to be really diehard fans.
Oh yeah, I really hated Skyrim, and I worry that Dragon Age Inquisition is going to end up being a bit like that, just with better dialogue. And that's something that worries me about kind of these open world fantasy games, because I loved all the older like Morrowind and Oblivion and all that stuff. I love those games, but Skyrim was such an overhyped piece of shit. To me, anyway.
I know. Well, what sold me to Dragon Age was an open world medieval game more than anything. Like I say, I know it says dragons on the cover, and it's like, oh, dragons, fire, attack. It's not like that. But I wanted an open world medieval game. Now, you'd have thought my go-to game this year would be Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh.
Yeah. I'm about to go balls deep on that fucking game.
Oh, feel free to.
Yes, and no, Dragon Age, so far, it's alright. I mean, it looks good. The dialogue seems fine. It's a bit confusing, but all in all, should be alright.
Alright, cool.
It depends if it keeps my attention, it keeps me coming back, because I thought I was going on a quest, and then all of a sudden I was side quested without even knowing about it, and stuff like that really gets on my tits.
Yeah.
And then you have to rank up by going through side quests. I don't want stuff like that. I like cut and dry. I don't want to spend 40, 50, 60 hours in a game. It'd drive me mad.
Yeah, no, I can imagine that.
Really, really enjoy it. So, I mean, hopefully it's good. Hopefully it gets better, but we'll see. I mean, I don't think I'm going to pursue Lords of the Fallen any further because it just didn't really look like it was going to be something for me.
No, I think Lords of the Fallen is probably going to be for me.
Yeah, whereas, wait, I've got a load of games here that I'm going to trade in, and I think I'll end up buying Devil May Cry.
Oh, yeah, because they're remastering that, aren't they?
I know, I fucking adore that game, dude. It's so good. It's right up my street.
Is it the original Devil May Cry, or is it like the...
No, it's DMC. It's 2013's DMC.
Emo Dante.
Emo Dante, yes. Which isn't all that emo, actually. I think he was meant to be originally, but that people just kicked off. They lost their shit. You know how gamers get. They don't go over the top or anything.
No.
They're such down-to-earth people.
Yes, Gamergate.
Yeah.
So,
but yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, so I tell you what, you know, I'm going to let the leash off the polar bear here. Assassin's Creed Unity.
Oh my fucking god, that fucking game. Alright, I was really looking forward to it because, you know, next gen Assassin's Creed, definitely up for it. Black Flag was incredible.
Yeah, it was.
Black Flag was awesome because it just made it so different. It made something different to the series. You had the ships and the pirates and all that good shit. Fucking banging. Loved it. This game, it's like, oh, old age France, look cracking. Couldn't wait. You move like you're playing Minecraft. It's all blocky. It's all crazy slow, and then it's really fast. It just can't seem to keep up pace with itself.
Yeah.
The frame rate, how it drops to under 30 frames a second on such a... Well, all the time. I mean, you're practically fucking stopping in the street. It's a joke. There is so many people which you thought would be cool, but they must have all been inbred back in them days because they all look the fucking same. There is not a different person there. I don't think everybody in the 1800s or whenever it was, I don't think they're all fucking white. I know it was a vast majority, but not all of them. And it's just how you're running towards something, and all of a sudden you'll have a magic store just pop up out of nowhere like magic. And then instead of running down a path or chasing somebody, you just magically start climbing up this fucking stall. And when you want it, you can't get down there because you can't stand too close to the edge. You'll just look over it like you're watching over a beautiful, beautiful open landscape, and you're just staring at the street about 5 foot up, stuck and can't move anywhere. I fucking hate that game. I hate it so bad. The combat shit. It's like we we reimagined all the combat. Instead of it just being 2 buttons, it's now 3. Oh, fuck me. That's different. This is next gen. You can feel the rage building.
Oh man.
And it's like, yeah, the graphics look great. They do, but they look shit at the same time.
So the question is, because I remember when it first came out, you bought it and then you got it refunded. Why did you get it again?
Because it was meant to be fixed. It was meant to be better.
What with your 40 gig Xbox One download for it?
Yeah, I've got literally no hard drive space. I actually deleted Far Cry 4 to make room for it because that's something else that has really fucking let me down. And so I tried playing it again. It was like, this is the same shit game. I'm still getting stuck on hay bales. I'm still, when I do a synchronization, the world just keeps spinning and you don't stop. And honestly, you do start, and you see the same world spin around 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You do start slipping into psychosis a little bit, and you can just feel my controller, just the grip on the controller gets tighter.
Because I haven't played it yet, and I was tempted to get it because I like the Assassin's Creed game, and then because again it came out in October and there's all that other stuff. No, it came out in November, but I was skint. And I decided I wanted to play Alien more than I wanted to play Assassin's Creed. And I'm so glad that I cancelled my pre-order for it because just all these problems are ridiculous. I was watching Will Boski, he did a playthrough of it.
Yeah.
Or he got halfway through and then gave up because of the bugs. I was watching one of his early videos and it was part of the prologue. I think Arno was in a prison or something like that, and he's talking to some guy who is supposed to be French, but he's speaking with an American accent.
Oh, yeah, don't fucking
honest. Then there was a Welsh Frenchman as well. I don't know. But either way, it was like, it was a cutscene, and it was stuttering, and it was slow frame rate, and pop-in textures and all that, and I just thought, if I played this, I would put my foot through the PlayStation. I would actually kick that thing out the window, because that is just ridiculous. And it says the fact that in the sales, in the post-Christmas sales, I looked on Amazon the other day, and they had the Ultra Notre Dame edition of the game, the one that had the statue of Arno and all that shit with it. £35.
Fucking hell, it says it all, mate.
It was 110 or something like that when it was first released. It's just like they just want to get rid of it all.
But this is a good thing. As stupid as it sounds, this is a good thing.
Well, it'll make them take note because after all this public backlash, Ubisoft are slowly turning into the EA of the part of the century. The
only reason that Ubisoft have got off the leash a little bit with me this year is because of Child of Light. They made that, and it's game. It's UBR. It's like a spin-off company that they've got, and basically for every Assassin's Creed game that does well, every Far Cry game that does well, they make a little game like Child of Light, and that's a good thing. But all in all, sales are going to drop for games like Assassin's Creed, for games like Halo, Call of Duty. In general, it's a good thing because those franchises that have plagued the market now for so long, they're just going to start dying away.
Yeah.
Call of Duty and Assassin's Creed now, to me anyway, I'm giving Call of Duty one more year.
Yeah.
And that's because I love it. That's just because I'm mad on it. In the past 2 years have been a massive letdown. But if it doesn't deliver in November, then I'm like, nah, fuck this, I'm done.
You see, I'm pretty much of the opinion that I don't like annualized series of games because it's just the sequels are never as good as the first one because the first one's had like 3 years of development ahead of it, and then they've got to churn a new one out every year. The exception being Assassin's Creed 2 being significantly better than the first one.
Well, it's different companies that they have making it, don't they?
Oh, yeah, but even then, it's still not. They're still working off each other's technology. It's like, like Ghosts. Which one made Ghosts? Was that
Infinity Ward? Yeah.
Yeah, so they were still working for like the PS3 and Xbox 360 versions. They still use the engine from Black Ops 2 and stuff like that. It's like, I think.
Well, yeah, because all the engine and whatnot's owned by Activision. So
yeah, but I think like Advanced Warfare was the first one with a new engine. It was like brand new.
Bollocks! It was a new engine, mate.
Was it?
Yeah, that isn't a new engine. And they called it a new engine just because you put double jump in. What do you fucking do? Double jump, yay!
Well, either way, but if you look at it, it's like FIFA, the FIFA series. I hate FIFA games, as you've probably seen if you saw my first play Friday in August or whatever it was, and I've spent 20 minutes just raging about the fact that I lost 5-0 to Man City.
Fair enough.
But it's just like, to me, it always seems like they make all these tiny little incremental upgrades. It's never each game is never progressively much better than the previous one.
You see now, FIFA 15 this year has just been a colossal fail.
Yeah.
Which, again, is another shame, because I love FIFA. I do. I love it. Especially from somebody who's a mad football fan and supports a League One team.
Yeah.
It's, if you're a Man U fan or an Arsenal fan, whatever, you can go into like Pro Evolution. Sorry, I forgot how to talk for a second. You can go into Pro Evolution Soccer or something like that, and it'll all still be there. But I can't play Pro Evolution Soccer and play a Port Vale.
No,
it's just
you
not going to
can't.
happen. So for me, FIFA's really good for that because you can play as Port Vale, you can play as Luton Town, you can play as whoever you want. As long as it's in the Football League, you can play as whoever.
Yeah.
But this year, it's been so bad. It's just been the lower league teams. They've just said, you know what, fuck you. You're not the Premiership.
Right.
It's like all your players look the same. The stadiums, you can't even choose your own stadium. Like you can, but it's bugged, so it'll just go back to the original.
Right.
So you're just playing some Tin Pot Stadium every week.
Ugh.
But the Premier League, that looks fantastic. I just got all their own stadiums. Got all the seats look perfect. The fans do what they do at the real games. They sing the same songs. They do the same chants and they link arms and turn around. I think that's something at Man City, the Bosnan or whatever it's called,
Yeah.
or the Bosnan, whatever. They do all that, but fuck the rest of you.
I really hope if they've got like accurate crowd chants. I really hope they didn't record any from a Newcastle Sunderland match because that would not be broadcastable.
I don't know. They generally make the chants a bit nice. It's like the referee's overweight and indulges in masturbation,
as opposed to being a fat wanker.
Yeah.
Oh no! But the point I was trying to make with that was like games like that. So like say take FIFA, okay. Rather than doing an incremental upgrade every year and changing the fucking controls to annoy the entire world, have one FIFA game that lasts for 2 seasons, and then the next year have maybe like a £10 downloadable content pack to put all the latest team sheets and player skins and that kind of thing into it, but just have the same core game for 2 years at a time.
Well, they do that for free anyway. You can go back and play FIFA 14, just download the update, and you'll have the updated rosters now than what you've got.
All right.
You will. That'll happen. And I do agree with you. I think they should just make one FIFA and just add to it.
Yeah.
Just make improvements. Because, EA are great with microtransactions. If they're good at anything, they got that spot on.
Oh, they know how to draw blood from a stone. Don't they?
Exactly. Jesus Christ.
Oh, man. It's...
EA stripy jumper and ski mask.
It's that cartoon, isn't it? It's that one that goes around with the kid and Papa EA. Papa, where are we going? And just sees all the bodies of all the franchises that EA have killed, and the dad shoots it in the head. But it is pretty much EA, isn't it? I mean, although Ubisoft are taking over this year with the rake of shit that they've put out.
Mate, I tell you what annoyed me most about Assassin's Creed Unity, and this really, it's really got under my skin, this did. And what it was, you'd have all these problems, but as soon as you'd pause the game or go to reset it, you'd have resume game, the next line underneath, e-store.
Oh, yeah. Oh, because they put microtransactions in it, didn't they?
Mate, that made my blood boil so much, you have no idea.
Oh, because it was it Helix filaments or something like that? Or
so much shit, like they call them time savers.
Yeah.
But why make a game where you got to collect stuff and then be able to buy it? It makes no sense.
But there was one of them was £65. That's not a microtransaction. That's more than the fucking game cost in the first place.
You do see that quite a lot, actually, especially in Loadout. I've noticed that.
In what?
Loadout. It's a third-person shooter on the PS4.
Yes.
It's free to play, so I've got no problem with micro DLC.
Yeah.
But you can look at all the packs you can get. It's like something like £100. It's like, who in the fucking right mind's buying that?
Well, it's where you see it on the iPad games that the wife plays and all that, and you go into the store on them, and it's like, I don't know, SimCity Build It or something. I think there's one of them there for like £50. It gives you just like masses of inventory. It's all consumable stuff. It's like, so you pay your £50 for what? Oh, some numbers on the screen. Yeah. No. Do you get like something made and sent to your house, or?
Yeah, exactly. It's ridiculous. They just take it way too far.
I generally don't get on that well with DLC and downloadable stuff in general. I don't like paying for a download because a download it's ones and zeros to me. It's not tangible. I would rather pay a little bit more and have a box game or a box CD to put on my shelf. Because then you've got it's that concept of ownership. If it's sitting on your hard drive, you're not really owning it, are you? It's like you're just borrowing it for a little while, and even then, not very well, depending on how good your hard disk is.
Well,
or how good the game is. I mean, God, all those people that bought digital copies of Assassin's Creed,
Well, I bought Halo digitally.
All right.
So yeah, that was a massive fail on my part.
So what was that, like 45 gig of your console gone, or 60 gig? Or
70 something actually.
Oh, because it was the 20 gig.
Yeah, there was a big update day one,
Ugh.
which was awesome.
Well, that was just the multiplayer. Maybe that's what fucked it up. Maybe bundling the multiplayer separately as a download. Maybe it needs to be on the disc.
I think maybe putting that game out this year was the biggest mistake that they made. They should have just left it till when it goes a bit quiet again in the quieter season, because obviously they want to make the Christmas period.
Of course, they want to make the Christmas period.
I understand that, I do, but just make sure it's finished. Don't. When Halo 5 comes out, who honestly in the right mind is going to say, "Oh well, the Master Chief ran so well, I'm definitely going to go give that a go."
But the thing is, no, it'll be different for Halo 5 though, because then you've got the story mode, and I know a lot of people who buy Halo just for the story.
That's what you hope. You hope it'll be different. You hope this time they'll get it right.
Well, I mean, to be honest, I never played through Halo 4, so I don't know what the story was like for that. But I do remember getting severely bored at the end of Halo Reach and never actually finishing it. I think I got to the last level on it, and when all your friends started dying, I started realizing that I didn't give a shit about anybody in this game. So I'm not even going to bother finishing it.
I know, yeah, that's the thing with characters. They don't understand. Games like that, shooters in general are the worst for this. They can't make a good story.
No.
They just can't. I mean, it's like in the opening scenes of Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, your best friend, who you've known for years, he dies. But at the first opening scene is like, "Oh, why did you join the army?" "Oh, I did it for my dad." It's like, well, if you're best friends, you just announced that you're best friends. If you're BFFs for life, how the fuck do you not know that already? Since when is this new? Was this when it's like, oh my god, no way, me too?
It's just that classic cliche. It's like a cop drama where the old guy dies 2 days before retirement.
But it's like, oh, my best friend died, you don't give a shit. In Call of Duty Ghosts, his dad dies. No one cared as long as Riley was okay. No one was bothered.
I mean, I tried because I played through all of the Call of Duties, all the campaigns up to. I think Modern Warfare 2 was the last one I played, because then I got really sick of it. And I cannot remember a single plot point from any of them other than a nuclear bomb being dropped in Iraq in Call of Duty Modern Warfare, the first one. And that is how good the stories are in Call of Duty. That is the only thing in 15 years of gaming that has just stuck with me.
Yeah, they don't really sell the characters all that well, whereas games like The Last of Us.
Oh, yes.
Have you played that game?
Yes. Oh, I played through on my channel. I've played through 2 or 3 times.
Have you?
Wonderful game.
It's for me, it's probably the best game ever made, in my opinion. And when his daughter dies at the beginning, in the opening, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you actually get all teary-eyed. When Sarah gets shot, it's like, oh my god. It's like, that's selling it. That's a game. That's what I want.
Oh, that game broke me about 2 or 3 times over. There's so many little sequences in that game, from, like you say, that opening bit with Sarah to when you leave Tess.
Yeah, Tess was awesome.
And then, obviously, the ending, which I'm not going to give away for anyone who hasn't seen it.
Ellie dies.
Yes, Ellie comes back as a clicker immediately, not after years of infection. But no, it's just the way the game ended, and everything about the story was fantastic.
Yeah,
and it was one of those games where you didn't really care about anything that was like niggly or annoying in the actual gameplay, because to be fair, the gameplay was just Uncharted. That's all it was. It wasn't vastly different from Uncharted in any way, shape or form, apart from a bit more stealth. But anything that was annoying in the gameplay was made up for completely with anything in the story. Yeah. I mean, my favourite bit is the whole sequence with Bill. When you're in Billstown, that rampant old fruit, because he's so angry with everything, and then you get this kind of revelation that he's gay and he's been in love.
Yeah,
but his partner has hated him that much that he's committed suicide. And it's just the most surreal thing. And then you could just cut to that scene of Ellie sitting in the back of the car flicking through the magazines that she's stolen from Bill's place. Yeah. And it's just like, what the fuck? Like, how do you write something like this? But they've just done it so well.
It's incredible. But to fair, that game's an exception, because that, like I say, in my opinion, that's the best game ever made.
And it's actually one of the few games that I hope they never make a sequel for, because the game itself and the DLC, Left Behind,
it's perfect.
No more they can say on that story. I want them to leave it, and I really hope Sony actually do stick that, because Sony can be quite good of not milking a franchise if they don't want to, or like steering a developer onto something else. It's like, there could have been hundreds of God of War games because they've simple kill everything, but they've kind of kept them to I think it was 4 main ones and 2 PSP ones, and they haven't pushed it further than that because there's nowhere to push it to.
No, I've never played God of War, so
they're fun. They're just like kind of button mashing insanity.
Oh, I quite like that actually.
Lots of sex, violence, and swearing. It's probably right up your street, to be fair.
To be fair, I hate any sex in computer games.
Oh, there's a surprise.
Mate, I hate it. It makes me skin crawl. Really does.
Well, yeah. To be fair, yeah. When you've got overt sex scenes, some of them are just embarrassing.
And it's like, yes, I know you love each other and what, but I don't need to see it.
I think. Well, you see, I wrote an article for What Culture on this one, like embarrassing scenes in games, and there was the overriding point I found is that when you've got a film and you've got a sex scene in a film, you've got two people. Yes, they're pretending to have sex, but because they're actors, they have that they have that look in their eyes, that connection between two people, effectively, or at least they're given that impression. When you've got digital models with cold, dead eyes,
just dry humping each other.
yeah, I mean, it's like Mass Effect had the worst sex scenes ever because, well, for a starter, Commander Shepard looked like an action man. He's like they'd done the graphics and styling him in such a way that he was like plastic and shiny.
Carpet hair and everything.
Yeah, carpet hair. I'm pretty sure if you pulled his bandstand, there would just be plastic underwear and a trademark on the back. And it was just like, and like all the, because with it being in space, you could copulate with nearly everything that you meet in the game,
right?
But all the female races were basically different coloured women with alien heads. They all had a female human body, and it was just the most ridiculous thing to watch. And plus, all the dialogue leading up to it was so shonky, and like the attempts at digital flirting never work.
No.
Although I think the worst one might have actually been Heavy Rain. Did you ever play that?
Yeah.
And it was the like move R to cup her breast or something like that. And it was like, no, I do not want an interactive sex scene when I'm playing on my PlayStation.
No, it's just not what I play it for.
Oh man,
sex scenes in games really don't do it for me. Anything trying to be sexy in a game just doesn't work.
No.
I think the most awkward moment is where in Grand Theft Auto where Trevor's buys that strip joint and you've got to go in.
Oh yes,
it's like it's just cringe, man.
I think well no actually did you ever see Retribution Ride to Hell?
Only on reviews. I think we've all seen the Angry Joe review on that one.
Yeah. The sex, well, if you go on YouTube and watch the sex scenes on that, they're just they're not. Well, the thing is, they're not even obscene because the game is so bad. There was no nude character models put in, so they're having sex, but they're both fully clothed.
Fantastic,
and it's just so bad. It is so ridiculously bad. It just takes it to whole different new levels. I think we've head off onto some weird tangent here, though.
Yeah, I know. I'm quite enjoying this. This is fun. I think it's going to turn more into a podcast than anything else. So.
I think so. What are we? We're at like 44 minutes at the minute or something.
Yeah, but we did spend about 20 minutes rambling on about nothing at the beginning.
Well, to be fair, that has been us on Twitter.
Yes, indeed.
Okay, well, I tell you what. Let's try and wrap this up here with some quick points then. So, okay, so. We'll go back on it. So, favourite game of 2014?
AAA or... I'm going to step away. I tell you what, I'm going to step away from Child of Light and say Titanfall.
Titanfall.
Yeah.
Great game. I really want an Xbox One just to play that.
Because that's more up my street. Anyone who knows me knows, like, Child of Light is like my secret love. Because everyone's like, oh, Child of Light's gay. And to be fair, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But Titanfall, just, my God... every time I think of that game, I get slightly aroused.
Okay, so for me, it's actually going to be a toss-up between Dark Souls 2 and Alien Isolation.
That game. That game's so bad.
No, it's not. It's amazing. Robbie, you know nothing. You know nothing, Jon Snow.
I know that game's fucking shite.
No, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant.
Oh my days, it was just... Oh no, just no. Don't get me wrong, it was better than Colonial Marines, but catching AIDS from a frog's better than Colonial Marines.
Okay then, so worst game of 2014. And
worst game.
If you say Alien Isolation, I'm going to come and melt your ice float.
No, it's not. It's not. Oh, the worst game. Hang on, Riley, fuck off, you too mad. For the last 40 minutes I've been sat here, he's come over like, Dad, love me. Worst game of 2014. Thief.
Oh. Yes, I played the demo of that and that was pretty shit.
Yeah, it was terrible, and that had all the makings of a great game as well, and just never. I mean, I stuck it out because I'm a stubborn bastard, and I played it. But my God, I just slated it. I just could not stand it.
Yeah, it was one of those games that was overhyped to the point where it was never ever, even if it was a good game, was ever going to live up to that hype, was it?
No, I mean, but that's how games go. But it's like Grand Theft Auto and The Last of Us. Those games they've got hype, but they live up to it.
Yeah. You see, so my worst game of 2014, so the one game I played that I absolutely I put it on and I couldn't stand it, was Trials Fusion.
Really?
I really didn't like that game because I quite liked the Trials games like back when they first came out in the 360 and that, and I quite enjoyed them.
Mm.
And then I got Trials Fusion through from my rental company, and I played it. It's just like, what? So it's exactly the same game. They've just put a shinier package on it. And it didn't do anything for me anymore. Whereas like I used to enjoy playing it, let's say back in the day, and doing the leaderboards and all that, and trying to be good, failing miserably. But
it's a frustrating game.
Yeah, but I just found it so just. Yeah, I just thought it was awful. I really didn't like it. But anyway, so the last one, most disappointing game. So it doesn't matter whether it's good or it's bad, but it's let you down immensely.
Oh wow, there's so many. I think the main one's got to be my game, my go-to. It's got to be Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me down big time. That game let me down so bad. You would not believe, because I was so looking forward to it. I thought it was finally going to be something different, something new, and it's just the same shit with double jump. And I know Call of Duty is going to be roughly the same every year, but how they can make a Call of Duty game so bad with an aspect that's so fucking cool. I mean, it looked great, the exosuits, the jumping, the boosting, that looked exactly up my street. It looked like Titanfall with kill streaks, and that I could not wait. But then they put the stupidest shit in, they don't balance the game, they don't put in dedicated servers. The gun balancing is just completely to shit, and they just fucked it up. When you got double jump, but you can still get auto aim quick scoped, it's a joke.
Yeah,
that's enough to make you want to scream at a small kitten.
Yeah, we see that's actually one thing that I never understand about the Call of Duty games. It's that they've because they're big in like kind of pro gaming, like esports and all that, but they all have aim assist on them.
Esports is the death of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Why? Because they all quick scope.
No, it's not a case of the all quick scope. It's just the game is now tailored for them.
Right.
You look at Titanfall, it's tailored for the casual player. You look at Destiny, it's tailored for the casual player. There is a 3v3, more of a ranked mode, a more high-end mode for the better, more skilled players.
Yeah.
There is a mode for them there. But in Titanfall, there is a ranked playlist there as well. If you look in any modern-day shooters, it's even got it in fucking loadout, for crying out loud, in Killzone. It has some aspect of ranked playlist, or party v party playlist. And Call of Duty just does it skill-based matchmaking. It'll put you. It's like, oh fuck your connection, fuck having a good time with it. We will put you against anybody in the world just because they've got a similar kill-death ratio or score per minute as you.
Right. Okay.
So every public lobby is now an MLG pro lobby. And yeah, that annoys me.
Well, but like I said, it's just they go on about with esports. These guys are supposed to be the best gamers ever. They've got the twitchiest fingers ever, but the game has aim assist on it, which means even an idiot like me, who's not very particularly good at first-person shooters, could actually get after a little while, get a decent kill-to-death ratio. And I don't understand how it then becomes something where you can have a sport, whereas like you could take something, any PC-based game, which because you use a mouse, you don't have aim assist, and that is actually down to your skill with the game, working with the game's mechanics to actually win. But I don't know, it just seems like a weird thing that it's become such a sport.
I mean, yeah,
that much.
I can never get my head around it with esports and MLG and all that shit. It just, like I say, it doesn't do anything for me. It will kill it because that's how the game's going now. It's going in a more MLG direction, and it's just taken away completely from the casual player who just wants to jump on for a couple of hours or play it a lot or do whatever. Yeah. Now you got to live by these Optic cum shot and his merry men. You got to live by their rules now. If they don't want something in the game, it'll get patched immediately. You see this all the time. They'll speak to the developers, say, "Oh, this happened to me once. I don't like it." Wow. It's like, "Oh yes, sir. Of course, sir. Right away, sir. Run it for you, sir." How much further would you like me to stick my tongue up your arsehole?
Lovely.
Yeah, and that's what it's based for now. So Call of Duty is dead to the casual player. And I mean, it will take over. It will completely take over. I just hope it doesn't start going into other games.
Yeah.
As well.
Pretty much destroys my need to buy it in the Boxing Day sales then.
No, I wouldn't, mate. I mean, like I say, it's shit. That's the best way to describe this Call of Duty. Is shit.
Right, so hang on, let's back on track. So my most disappointing game of this year, I've said it earlier in this, what will now be a podcast. I said it earlier, The Evil Within. It was hyped so much as the next-gen horror game to have.
Yep.
And it's Shinji Mikami, the guy behind Resident Evil, the guy who knows his biscuits about Japanese-style horror. And I wouldn't say he's fucked it up, but he just hasn't done it right.
He made a cock up of it.
Yeah. It's like
definitely. Because he was given a shitload of money and he had the best team that money could buy in the world of horror games. He did, and Bethesda gave them full backing and said, boys, just go nuts. Do whatever the fucking hell you've got to do. And they're like, oh, yes, we make now. Maybe he doesn't talk like that, I don't know. And how
he doesn't talk like that.
How all these creative guys who are the kings of horror games, it's like Stephen King making My Little Pony.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all they've done.
Well, I mean, even come down to the technical aspect. I mean, the game took something like 5 years or something to make, and if you didn't install the day one patch that came with it, you couldn't even fucking play it. I mean,
seriously.
Seriously. If it was something on Eurogamer about it. If you played it without installing that first patch, the frame rate never came above 20. The graph, no textures popped in at the right time. But this 200 meg patch that they put on for the first day, it's still not perfect. There's still frame rate drops, but it worked. You can play it.
Man, they've got to stop making games and relying on patches.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, what about those? There are a select few people in the world who have a PS4 and Xbox One and don't have them connected to the internet. What about those people? When do they get to play a good game?
Oh, fuck them.
Oh yeah,
fuck them. It doesn't matter. You cannot play these. It's shown over Christmas with this DDoS attack. You cannot play these games. You cannot play these consoles unless they're online.
Yes.
There is going to be some aspect to them that has to be online.
Well, yeah, because I mean, Sony tried to say that when Microsoft dropped the ball on the reveal of the One, didn't they? Mm-hmm. You don't need to be always online, and then PlayStation Network comes down. Anybody who's bought anything off PSN couldn't play the fucking games.
Yeah.
Like, you just updated a game off PSN that couldn't play the game off the fucking disc.
Oh, really?
I think so. I'm pretty sure I saw something about that on Twitter. Correct me if I'm wrong, Will, but yeah, I'm pretty sure I seen something like that where someone, or either that it knew it had an update that hadn't finished downloading, and it wouldn't start the game until the update had downloaded, but they couldn't because PSN was down.
That's terrible.
Which is ridiculous.
It is bad. I mean, obviously, because I've been struggling with my internet over here recently, and you physically can't do anything. When it's down, it's down. You can't progress and next to anything. There is some, unless you've downloaded all the patches already and whatnot, you can't just plug in a game and go. You kind of have to do this, and you have to connect to their server just so you can get, just so it can download things in game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a joke. These new gen consoles, to be fair, they've been nothing but a disappointment in general. There's only been a couple of shining lights in games that have really done well.
Well, you see, I think, because this is going to take me into the last point as well, I think 2015, I think we'll finally start getting the stuff that will make the difference for these new consoles. Because obviously up to now, everything's been kind of cross-platform stuff. Like, all the major games have been across everything.
That's annoying as well.
But then, like, I mean, in March you get Bloodborne, which I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, that game was good. It was really good.
Yeah, tail end of the year, you've got Rise of the Tomb Raider, and you've got Uncharted 4.
Yeah, I'm hoping, because I've never played an Uncharted game, believe it or not.
The Last of Us, but with a bit of a cheeky side to it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping they're going to remaster them and bring them to PS4.
No, I think they are. I did hear some rumblings about that at some point.
I know it's the end thing to do right now is remakes.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I've heard something about that recently, but don't quote me on that. What's the other ones? There's Batman Arkham Knight, which looks amazing.
Never played a Batman game.
Oh, well, you see, I like the Arkham Asylum and City. They were great. Origins was a load of hot shit.
Fair enough.
But no, Arkham Knight looks really good, just because you get the Batmobile and you get to like blow shit up. It's great. I'm trying to think of what else is out next year.
I've got a few. I mean, first of all, coming straight out of the gate and end of January, Dying Light.
Oh, yes, that was it. That's what I was trying to think of. Dying Light looks amazing.
Yeah, that game has got my pre-order. It's actually had it for about 12 months now when it was originally meant to come out.
Yeah.
Because that game just looks like Mirror's Edge, crossed with Resident Evil.
Yeah, it looks like what I wanted Zombie U to be. Did you ever see Zombie U on the
I've
Wii U?
seen it. Yeah, I've got a Wii U, but I've never played Zombie U.
Well, it had the same principle. You have to go out and you have to survive, and if you died, it was permadeath, and you got a different character and started again, had to retrace your steps, all that kind of thing. Didn't have like the day and night cycle like Dying Light has, but it was the same kind of principle. But it didn't seem to do it right from what I've seen. That makes sense.
Well, it was a launch title, wasn't it, for the Wii U? It was a launch game.
Yeah, it was. I mean, to be fair, it looked pretty good for the Wii U as well.
It was more there to just show off the little iPad that you get with it. Because let's face it, the Wii U, it's pretty much a non-existent console for the majority of time. It's only been relevant since Mario Kart and now Smash has come out.
And Bayonetta.
And Bayonetta, yeah, that actually got a lot of really high reviews. But I don't think many people, unless you're a hardcore gamer and know what that's about, you won't get the casual player who's not a massive Nintendo fan. Say, oh, Bayonetta 2's out, I'm going to have to go buy a Wii U just for that.
No.
They've got to stick with what sells, which is obviously the Nintendo classics, the Marios, the Donkey Kongs, and all that good stuff as well.
Yeah.
But like I say, there's nothing for me on Wii U next year.
No, I haven't even seen anything that's coming out for Wii U next year. I think Nintendo only tend to release 2 or 3 games a year, don't they?
Yeah, I know, and then they complain that the sales are down.
Yeah. But no, I can't think of anything for Nintendo. But like you say, Dying Light, that's one that's on my radar. I don't know if I'll get it when it first comes out, but I'll be getting that at some point.
That's definitely going to be the one when it first comes out for me.
Yeah, I mean, there's the Dark Souls 2 remaster next year as well, which might actually look like the press shots that they released at E3 about it. Because that was one thing that, for all of Dark Souls 2, like they advertised it with all these wonderful looking graphics and all that, and the game was good, but it didn't look anything like what they promised.
No, that's becoming a setting trend, to be fair.
So, and I'd said this from day one. It's like, because of when they announced it, when it was coming out, I said, I bet you within 12 months of that game being out, that there is a PS4 version of it. And what do you know? It's 13 months after. It's coming out in April, but yes.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I'm okay with remakes at the minute.
Yeah.
I am, because I'm sick of cross-gen games.
Yeah. I'd rather have a game that's designed to run on my console first.
Yeah, exactly. And I understand that people can't afford and whatnot yet, but, if you can't afford to go watch a concert, you don't go.
Yeah.
Simple as that. It doesn't matter if you got the car to get there. So you can go to the concert, you can drive up there, but you haven't got the money to buy the ticket. That's fair enough. So if you haven't got the ticket, you can't go. If you haven't got a new gen console, you can't play the game.
Exactly.
You can still do other things. Like I say, you can jump in your car, do whatever the fuck you want, but you just can't play the newest game that comes out. That's probably the strangest analogy I've ever made in my god entire life.
I like the way you do analogies where you actually stick to it and then lose it, and then stick to it and lose it.
It does make sense in a very roundabout type of way.
Yeah, you weave through a point and out the other side and come back in again. But I understand what you mean. I don't so much mind the HD remasters, because in some cases they can enhance the game. Like, obviously one of the first ones that was out, which I've got, is the Eco and Shadow of the Colossus collection on the PS3. And that was great. I loved that. Because those games were fantastic on the PS2, but neither of them, like both of them, had issues because they were pushing the PlayStation 2 further than it could go.
Yeah.
And on the PS3, it now finally worked. And they were brilliant.
It's like Grand Theft Auto, that had its issues on 360. I played it on the Xbox One, and it ran great. It looked great. It was spot on. Same with The Last of Us.
Yeah.
That pushed the PS3 to its absolute limit. And it come out on PS4, just amazing. Just spot on.
To be fair, I mean, what Naughty Dog achieved with The Last of Us on PS3 is a fucking miracle.
Definitely.
And the fact that it very rarely actually had any issues. I think it only slowed down a couple of times for me in like really heavy areas. But other than that, it ran smooth as a nut. And then the fact that it runs better on the PS4 is just a bonus.
Exactly. I mean, they doubled the frame rate, high the resolution. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It was. And yeah, I mean, I'm okay with remakes for a little while now anyway.
Yeah.
Come the end of next summer, this time next year, I don't want to see any more remakes.
No, I think unless they're talking about remakes of absolute stone cold classics, like I know that they're not doing it because they've already announced what they do. But like, say for instance, if Sony came out with a fully realized Final Fantasy VII for the new gen, I know they're porting the old PC version to PS4 next year. Right. If they took like an old classic game and then entirely rebuilt it, rather than just remaster it, like rebuilding it. I'd quite like people to do that.
Kind of like what Doom was trying to do.
Yeah.
Because you had the beta, bloody Americans getting into my head, the demo.
Yeah.
When Wolfenstein came out, it said you could get a demo for it, but it's never happened. So I don't know what's happening with that game.
It's just you put your name in the hat for it. So because they haven't actually announced the release date yet. So it was only.
So is that still actually happening now?
Oh yeah, that's going to happen at some point this year. It's what they said. What they said is basically if you bought, I think it was it the Occupied edition of Wolfenstein? Because I'm in it as well. You put your code in, and and it is actually a beta because it's an online one, so it's counted as a beta test rather than a demo.
Okay.
When that is announced, you will be in it when you have this code. So as long as you've redeemed the code, you'll get an email through when it's available.
Oh shit! I thought they'd given up on that.
No. There was QuakeCon in October or something. There was an announcement.
There's a real thing called QuakeCon.
Oh yeah. Every year.
Jesus Christ!
It's the same way there's a BlizzCon for World of Warcraft.
Yeah. That thing's dying as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
From what I hear.
Yeah, they showed off some footage from the new Doom game, but in like a closed door environment, as in they actually said to people, if you record this on your phone and it appears on YouTube, we know exactly how many people's in this auditorium. We will find you.
That's fair enough.
So yeah, so there's about 1,000 people in the world outside of ID who know what we're going to get. And,
really?
Yeah. So I think we'll get proper announcements this year, but I can't wait for the next Doom game because I mean I love Doom 3. I've loved every other Doom, to be honest.
Yeah, I actually went back and played them. When I got Doom 3, I got Doom 1 and 2 with it.
Yeah, I had that. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to that. Anything shooter related, I'm happy with.
See, I want to see what Big Machine are going to do to follow up on Wolfenstein, because I think they got that so right. I'd like to see what they come up with next.
I think Wolfenstein's got to be, they've got to be scraping the bottom of the barrel, carrying on with Wolfenstein.
Now we see. I don't think they'll do another Wolfenstein, but they'll
starting a new IP.
Yeah, or pick up another IP, or I don't know, something like that. But just because they got Wolfenstein so right.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Want to see what they do next.
Yeah, that'd be good.
Yeah.
The problem with Wolfenstein and games like that, there is no multiplayer to it.
Yeah, that's what I like, because then they can spend the time on a good single player.
No, I understand that, but then it kind of takes the life away from the game, because I'm not one of them people who wants to 100% everything. I'm not going to want to play it on the hardest difficulty 13 times to appreciate it. I'll play it through once. I'll play it on standard, and that'll be that. If there's no multiplayer, I want to come back to it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair enough. To be fair, I haven't played Wolfenstein since I finished it, so...
Yeah.
In fact, I think my brother-in-law has it at the minute, actually. I don't even have it in the house. So, but yeah, I see your point on that one. I've done that with quite a few games, but see, I like having a collection anyway. So, but I'm sad like that.
I'm quite happy. As soon as I'm done with the game, I'll trade it in.
I think I only ever trade in games if I finished it. I haven't really liked it that much, but there's something really brilliant coming out afterwards. Or like I traded in a load of games when I got my PS4. I traded in like my Vita and about 30 games. And I got my PS4 and a couple of games for 280 or something stupid like that. It was a quality deal.
Yeah, I got my PS4 on the cheap as well.
You can't argue with getting on the cheap.
No. It wasn't stolen or anything, but someone had returned one to game.
Yeah.
And it was kind of a bit of a cash sale before they put it through the books.
Yeah, well, that was basically what mine was.
Yeah.
As opposed to being off the back of a lorry.
Yeah, exactly.
That bloke down the social club. Yeah, mate, I've got your PS4.
Yeah, that Chinese man who also sells DVDs.
Right, okay, so I'm going to end this before you do a very racist impression on my channel now. So,
I'm not doing it.
So, well, thank you for joining us today, Rob.
No problem. I've enjoyed it.
Yeah. For anyone who's gotten to this point where we're like just over an hour in, you deserve a medal.
I'm sure we can cut a lot of the shit out of it.
Oh no, I'll be putting this in verbatim. But yes, I hope you've enjoyed this. Leave a like, leave a comment, hit subscribe. Go check out Rob's channel. I'll stick the link in the description. Give him some love because he's a great YouTuber and he puts some quality material up there. And it's just a big bromance around here, isn't it?
Oh, definitely. Proper sausage first.
Right, okay, and so yeah, thank you for listening and good night.